Welcome to a deep dive into a book that might just totally change how you think about human evolution.
Oh, yeah.
So many of you have sent in this book,
Yeah.
Human by Design by Gregg Braden.
Right.
And I've got to say, this isn't your typical we came from monkeys story.
No.
It goes way beyond that.
Way beyond.
It's a deep dive into scientific discoveries that really suggest that our origins are way more complex than we thought.
Yeah, it really looks at some of the evidence that challenges the classic Darwinian evolutionary timeline. Like, for example, the book highlights how modern humans, us with all our brain power and creativity, seem to appear on the scene like super fast.
Like all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like almost 200,000 years ago?
Yeah, around 200,000 years ago.
So it's like, showing up at a marathon halfway through and you're already in first place.
Yeah.
Why is this sudden appearance such a big deal for scientists?
Well, because it's like finding a missing piece of a puzzle that throws the whole picture into question. If evolution is supposed to be this slow, gradual process like we've always been taught,
Right.
then where are all the in-between stages leading up to modern humans?
Right.
Shouldn't we see like evidence of those gradual changes, over millions of years in the fossil record?
You'd think we would, right?
Yeah.
You'd think there'd be some kind of missing link connecting us to earlier primates.
Right, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
We've been searching for those missing links for like over 150 years.
Wow.
And they're still missing.
Still missing.
It's like we're trying to build a bridge across a river, but we only have materials for one side.
Yeah.
So the lack of, concrete fossil evidence really challenges that traditional narrative of human evolution.
So it's more of a scientific mystery than a solved case then.
Absolutely.
What are some possible explanations then for this gap in the fossil record?
Well, there are a few possibilities.
Okay.
One is that the conditions needed to create fossils are pretty rare.
Right.
So maybe we just haven't found them yet. Another possibility is that human evolution may not have followed a simple straight line.
Right.
Maybe there were twists and turns and side branches and dead ends that we just haven't uncovered yet.
Okay, so the classic tree of human evolution we all learned in school
Right.
might need some serious editing.
Yeah, it might need a rewrite.
I'm all for a good plot twist.
Me too.
Now, what about Neanderthals?
Neanderthals. Weren't they supposed to be our direct ancestors?
Well, that was the prevailing theory for a long time.
Right.
But, recent DNA analysis has actually painted a very different picture.
Okay.
It turns out we didn't directly descend from Neanderthals. They were a separate lineage,
Okay.
more like our distant cousins.
So if the Neanderthals weren't our direct ancestors, then who were?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Scientists are still trying to figure that out.
Wow, this is getting really intriguing.
It is.
So what we do know is that our relationship with Neanderthals was more complex than we initially thought.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There was interbreeding.
Right.
And they might have even coexisted for a certain period of time.
Yes.
So it's a much more nuanced picture of our past.
Definitely.
Okay, so the story of human evolution is getting more complicated, and we're just scratching the surface.
We are just getting started.
What other surprising discoveries does Gregg Braden highlight in Human by Design?
Okay, well, this is where it gets really interesting.
Right.
The book delves into the DNA that makes us uniquely human.
Okay.
The blueprint for our advanced brains and nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
And Braden presents evidence suggesting that this blueprint may be the result of a very specific and precise gene fusion that happened in our distant past.
Okay, a gene fusion.
Yeah.
What exactly does that mean?
So imagine you have two separate puzzle pieces,
Okay.
and suddenly they just seamlessly merge together to create a completely new piece
Wow.
with a totally unique shape and function.
Okay.
That's essentially what a gene fusion is.
Hmm.
Two separate genes combining to create a brand new gene that wasn't there before.
So if gene fusions happen, wouldn't that also be a slow, gradual process?
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
The gene fusion that gave rise to, our complex human traits,
Right.
it wasn't just any random fusion.
Okay.
It was
Well-
like incredibly precise and complex.
Wow.
The kind of event that's statistically highly unlikely to just happen through random mutations over time.
Right.
Like finding a perfectly formed snowflake
Yeah.
in the middle of a sandstorm.
Wow.
So the sheer improbability of it really raises questions about whether there might be something more at play than just chance.
Okay, so was it just an incredible stroke of luck?
Right?
Or could there have been some kind of intentional design behind this gene fusion?
Well, that's the big question, isn't
Yeah, that
it?
sounds like it would ruffle some feathers in the scientific
Oh,
community.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this topic so fascinating and controversial.
Uh-huh.
Braden doesn't shy away from exploring those questions. He presents the concept of intelligent design as a potential interpretation of this evidence.
Yeah, it's important to note that we're not taking sides here.
Right.
We're just presenting the ideas and letting you, the listener, draw your own conclusions.
Exactly.
So whether it was a cosmic coincidence or something more deliberate, the implications of this gene fusion are huge, right?
Huge.
It's not just a minor footnote in our evolutionary story.
It changes everything.
Yeah.
This discovery opens up a whole new way of understanding who we are and where we came from.
Right.
And it suggests that we might have far greater potential than we previously imagined. And that brings us to another fascinating aspect of human by design.
Cool.
The exploration of our inherent abilities.
Okay.
Those hidden superpowers within each of us.
Superpowers, you say?
Yeah.
Now you've got me really hooked.
Okay.
Tell me more about these abilities. What kind of superpowers are we talking about?
We'll dive deeper into those in the next part of our deep dive. But just to give you a taste, we're talking about things like self-healing, longevity regulation, enhanced immunity,
Okay.
and even profound intuition.
Hold on. Are you saying we have the potential to heal ourselves,
Yeah.
live longer,
That's right.
and even tap into some kind of sixth sense?
Exactly.
That's incredible.
It is.
Why aren't we all running around with supercharged immune systems and psychic powers then?
Well, that's a great question.
Yeah.
And one we'll explore in detail in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
But for now, let's just say that modern life, with all its stresses and distractions, has made it easy to forget our innate potential.
Okay.
But as you'll see, Braden offers compelling evidence that these abilities are real and that we have the power to awaken them.
Well, you've definitely piqued my curiosity.
Good.
I can't wait to learn more about these hidden abilities and how we can tap into them.
We'll get into all that next time.
Listeners, stay tuned because we're about to go even deeper into the mind-blowing world of human by design.
It's going to be a wild ride.
Buckle up. All right, so let's jump back into this deep dive on human by design.
Okay.
We left off talking about these extraordinary abilities that Braden says are encoded within us.
Right.
It all sounds pretty incredible.
It is.
But is there any real science to back it up?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
These aren't just like mystical claims or wishful thinking.
Right.
Braden's book is filled with examples of, scientific research and documented cases that support this idea that we have way more potential than we typically acknowledge.
Okay, so give me an example
Sure.
of one of these abilities and how science supports it.
Okay. Well, let's take self-healing, for example.
Okay.
Think about the placebo effect.
Right.
It's a well-documented phenomenon where people experience real, measurable improvements in their health simply because they believe they're receiving a powerful treatment,
Right.
even if it's just a sugar pill.
Right. I've heard of that.
Yeah.
But how does that prove we have the power to heal ourselves?
Okay.
Isn't it just the mind playing tricks?
Yeah. It's more than just a trick.
Okay.
The placebo effect really demonstrates that profound connection between our minds and bodies.
Right.
Our beliefs and expectations can actually trigger physiological changes that impact our health. Braden argues that this effect is just a glimpse of our innate self-healing potential,
Okay.
a potential that we can learn to activate consciously.
Okay, so we're not just talking about positive thinking here.
Yeah.
There's a real biological basis for this.
That's right.
What about some of the other abilities?
Yeah.
Like longevity regulation. Can we really influence how long we live?
It's definitely more complex than just wishing ourselves a longer lifespan,
Right.
but there's growing evidence that our lifestyle choices play a huge role.
Of course.
Things like diet, exercise, stress management, and, strong social connections
Yeah.
all contribute to healthy aging.
Right, that makes sense. Take
Okay.
care of your body and you'll live longer.
Right.
But Braden seems to suggest there's more to it than that, right?
Right. Yeah, he points to emerging research that suggests that our thoughts and emotions also have a direct impact on our cells' aging process.
Really?
Yeah.
Like how?
Well, for example, studies on telomeres.
Okay.
Those protective caps on the ends of our chromosomes show that stress can actually accelerate their shortening, which is linked to faster aging.
So chronic stress is like hitting the fast forward button on aging.
In a way, yeah.
Wow.
But the exciting part is that practices like meditation and mindfulness
Right.
have actually been shown to slow down that telomere shortening, potentially extending our healthy years.
Managing our mental and emotional well-being is just as important as taking care of our physical health.
Exactly. It's a holistic approach.
It is.
Braden's argument is that we have way more influence over our lifespan than we often realize.
Okay.
It's about making conscious choices that support our well-being on all levels.
I like that.
So now let's shift gears and talk about another fascinating ability.
Okay.
Enhanced immunity. We all know how crucial a strong immune system is, especially in today's world.
Right.
What's Braden's perspective on this?
Yeah. Spill the secrets.
Okay, yeah.
How do we supercharge our immune systems?
Right.
Is it all about green smoothies and vitamin C?
Well, while a healthy lifestyle is definitely important,
Sure.
Braden highlights research showing that positive emotions,
Okay.
like gratitude and joy, can actually boost our immune response.
Mm-hmm.
And on the flip side, chronic stress and negativity can suppress it,
Right.
leaving us more vulnerable to illness.
So it's not just about what we put into our bodies, but also about how we manage our thoughts and emotions.
Absolutely. Our mental and emotional state plays a much bigger role in our physical health than we often give it credit for.
Yeah, for sure.
And that connection goes both ways.
Okay.
When we feel good, our bodies function better.
Right.
And when our bodies are healthy, we tend to feel more positive and resilient.
Okay. This is all starting to make sense.
Good.
But what about some of the more out there abilities,
Oh.
like intuition or even precognition?
Right.
Is there any scientific basis for those? I have to admit, that's where I get a little skeptical.
I understand the skepticism, but this is where it gets really intriguing.
Like,
Braden suggests that our brains are capable of receiving information beyond our five senses, tapping into a field of interconnectedness that transcends the limitations of time and space.
okay, hold on. Are we talking about ESP here?
Well,
Mind reading, seeing the future?
it's a possibility.
That's even more mind-blowing than the self-healing stuff.
I know it sounds wild,
It does.
but there's actually a growing body of research exploring these phenomena.
Okay.
For example, the HeartMath Institute
Okay.
has conducted experiments demonstrating that the heart's electromagnetic field can actually detect information seconds before our conscious awareness picks it up.
Wait, are you saying our hearts are like little antennas picking up signals from the future?
It's a fascinating possibility, isn't it?
It is.
Braden believes that these intuitive abilities are part of our evolutionary heritage,
Okay.
just waiting to be rediscovered and activated.
Ah,
And while more research is definitely needed,
sure.
these early findings open up some really mind-bending possibilities about the nature of consciousness
Right.
and our connection to the world around us.
This is blowing my mind wide open.
Good.
So we're not just talking about living longer or boosting our immune systems.
No.
We're talking about tapping into a whole new level of human potential,
That's right.
something that feels almost superhuman.
Exactly. Braden's message is that we're not just products of chance, but beings designed with incredible capabilities. The question is, will we choose to awaken them?
Right.
Will we embrace the fullness of who we are and what we can become?
It all sounds so incredible and empowering.
It is.
But if these abilities are inherent to all humans,
Yeah.
why aren't we all walking around with supercharged immune systems and psychic powers?
Right.
Why are they seemingly so dormant in most people?
That's a great question, and one that leads us to the practical side of Braden's work.
Okay.
It's one thing to talk about these amazing abilities,
Yeah.
but how do we actually access them?
Right.
What steps can we take to awaken this potential within ourselves?
Yes, that's what I'm dying to know.
Okay.
Don't leave us hanging.
We won't.
In the next part of our deep dive, let's explore those practical techniques
We will.
and discover how we can unlock the hidden superpowers within each of us.
Might be good.
Listeners, stay tuned. This is about to get really exciting. Welcome back to our deep dives into Gregg Braden's Human by Design.
Right?
We've uncovered some mind-blowing possibilities about human evolution and our hidden potential.
Absolutely.
Now let's get practical.
Okay.
How do we actually tap into these incredible abilities?
That's where the rubber meets the road, right?
Yeah.
It's one thing to understand the theory,
Uh-huh.
but it's quite another to actually experience it firsthand.
Right.
So Braden offers a variety of techniques and practices that can help us bridge that gap.
Okay, give me the highlights.
Yeah.
Where do we even begin?
Well, one of the most fundamental practices Braden emphasizes is coherence.
Coherence.
Yeah.
That sounds intriguing, but a little vague.
Okay.
What exactly does it mean to be coherent?
Think of it like this.
Okay.
Imagine an orchestra
Okay.
where all the instruments are playing in harmony,
Uh-huh.
creating this beautiful, unified sound.
Right.
That's coherence.
Okay.
It's a state where your heart, mind, and body are all working together in sync, creating this powerful, energetic field.
So it's like getting all their internal systems on the same page,
It's
working together instead of against each other.
Yeah, and when we're in that state of coherence,
Yeah.
it really amplifies our intentions, enhances our intuition, and unlocks our potential.
Okay. I'm starting to see the appeal.
Good.
But how do we actually cultivate coherence?
Right.
Is it some kind of mystical practice that takes years to master?
Not at all.
Okay.
Braden suggests a surprisingly simple technique.
Right.
Called heart-focused breathing.
Heart-focused breathing.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Okay, so it involves shifting your attention to your heart area, breathing deeply and slowly,
Okay.
and focusing on feelings of appreciation or gratitude.
Okay, so it's like intentionally tuning into the heart's energy
Exactly.
and allowing it to guide your breaths and your thoughts.
That's it.
Sounds easy enough.
It is.
What kind of impact does this have on our bodies and minds?
Well, extensive research by the HeartMath Institute has shown that heart-focused breathing can quickly shift us from a state of stress to a state of coherence. It calms the nervous system, balances our hormones, and creates this cascade of positive physiological changes.
So it's like a reset button for our entire system.
Yeah, you could say that.
No wonder it helps us access those hidden abilities.
Right.
Okay, what other techniques does Braden recommend for tapping into our potential?
Well, visualization and affirmations are also powerful tools.
Good old visualization.
Yeah.
I've dabbled in that before. But how do affirmations fit into the picture?
Okay, so affirmations are a way of intentionally reprogramming our subconscious minds
Okay.
by consistently repeating positive statements that align with our goals.
Right.
We create new neural pathways that support those outcomes. It's like planting seeds in the garden of our minds.
So it's about aligning our thoughts and beliefs with the reality we want to create.
Exactly.
So like if I want to activate my self-healing abilities,
Yeah.
I might affirm something like, my body is strong and healthy.
Exactly. The key is to choose affirmations that resonate with you and repeat them with conviction.
Okay.
The more we embody those positive beliefs, the more likely they are to manifest in our lives.
This is starting to feel less like woo-woo and more like a science-backed approach to personal transformation.
That's right.
I'm really digging it.
That's the beauty of Braden's work, you know?
Yeah.
He doesn't ask us to just blindly accept these concepts.
Rest.
He presents the scientific evidence while also acknowledging the wisdom of ancient traditions that have understood these principles for centuries.
It's like he's bridging the gap between science and spirituality,
Exactly.
showing us that they don't have to be at odds with each other.
Right. It's about integrating the best of both worlds to empower ourselves.
I like that. Okay, let's step back for a moment
Okay.
and consider the bigger picture.
All right.
If we really do have these extraordinary abilities,
Yeah.
how does that change our understanding of ourselves and our place in the universe?
That's the profound question that human by design really invites us to contemplate.
Yeah.
You know, if we're not just products of chance, but beings designed with purpose, well, it suggests a level of responsibility we might not have considered before.
Responsibility. In what sense?
Yeah.
What kind of impact can these ideas have on our lives and on the world?
If we recognize that we have the potential to heal ourselves, to influence our longevity,
Right.
to tap into a deeper level of wisdom and intuition, then it follows that we have a responsibility to cultivate those abilities. You know, it means making choices that support our highest potential,
Right.
not just for our own benefit, but for the well-being of others and the planet as a whole.
So it's not just about personal growth.
No.
It's about contributing to something larger than ourselves.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing the interconnectedness of all things.
Yeah.
You know, we're not isolated individuals just struggling for survival.
Right.
We're part of this vast web of life,
Yeah.
and our actions have ripple effects throughout that web.
That's a powerful concept. It makes me think about the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
How even seemingly small actions can have a huge impact.
Exactly. Every choice we make, every thought we have, every action we take,
Right.
it all contributes to the collective human experience. And as we awaken to our innate potential,
Yeah.
we become more conscious participants in shaping that experience.
Right.
Not just for ourselves, but for generations to come.
Wow, that's a beautiful and inspiring vision.
It is.
It gives me a whole new sense of hope and possibility for the future.
That's the essence of human by design,
Yeah.
to empower us with this new understanding of who we are and what we're capable of.
Well, this deep dive has been a wild ride.
It has.
We've questioned Darwin, explored hidden abilities, and contemplated the implications of conscious evolution.
We've covered a lot of ground.
It's a lot to absorb,
Yeah,
but it's incredibly empowering.
for sure.
What's the key takeaway you want listeners to remember from this exploration?
I think the most important message is this.
Okay.
You are far more powerful and capable than you've been led to believe.
Mm,
You have these innate abilities waiting to be awakened.
yeah.
And the choices you make each day have the power to shape your reality
Right.
and contribute to a brighter future for humanity.
Beautifully said. This has been an incredible journey of discovery. For listeners who are intrigued by these ideas and want to explore further,
Yeah.
what would you recommend?
Well, Gregg Braden's book, Human by Design, is an excellent starting point.
It is.
It's filled with scientific evidence, inspiring stories, and practical techniques.
Absolutely.
Right.
And beyond reading the book, I encourage you to explore those practices we discussed today.
Right.
Heart-focused breathing, visualization affirmations.
Yeah.
See what resonates with you.
Exactly.
Start
Yeah.
small, be consistent, and trust the process.
The journey of self-discovery is a lifelong adventure.
It is.
Embrace the wonder, stay curious, and never stop exploring the incredible potential that lies within you.
Well said. And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into Human by Design.
It's been a pleasure.
Listeners, we hope this exploration has sparked your curiosity and inspired you to tap into your own extraordinary potential.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep diving deep and keep reaching for the stars.